Well, Michael Cohen headed back to the stand at former President Trump's criminal trial in New York City. Let's bring in Tom Dupree, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General, and Mike Davis, former law clerk for Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, former Chief Nominations Counsel for the Senate Judiciary Committee, now President of the Article 3 Project. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. So we're back in court. Looks like Michael Cohen is back on the stand, and the prosecution continuing its examination of him. But to you, Mike Davis, first, when you go over some of these things that we've seen today, you have a Hope Hicks saying in court earlier last week that Trump was concerned about his family finding out about this whole Stormy Daniels thing. And in court today, you have Michael Cohen saying, no, the former president was mainly concerned about the campaign here. What do you think of those contradictions?
So we have a businessman settling a nuisance claim, and that is not illegal anywhere. And then you have a convicted perjurer and disbarred attorney who is peddling his book and making money off TikTok, trashing President Trump, coming in on this sham trial today after this biased prosecutor brought in a porn star, Stormy Daniels, before Michael Cohen today. This is a joke of a criminal case against President Trump. President Trump should not be in this courtroom right now during the middle of the presidential campaign.
Yeah, and we should note that our producer in the courtroom, Grace Taggart, put this out on that topic, Tom Dupree, and I'll get your take on it. She says, quoting here, Cohen says that at the time, we're talking about when the $130,000 payment was made to Stormy Daniels, Trump was polling very lowly, poorly with women. This coupled with the previous Access Hollywood tape, Trump stated it's a disaster, get control of it. Trump told Cohen to push it out as long as you can, just get past the election. If I win, it has no relevance, and if I lose, I don't even care. But again, as Mike was saying here, the NDAs, these kinds of, fix this thing is not illegal, Tom, correct?
That is correct. It is not illegal. NDAs are perfectly legal. The issue here, Trace, from my perspective, is that today we're really seeing what the prosecution's case is coming down to, and it's coming down to the credibility of Michael Cohen. And I think it should be obvious to anyone who's been following this trial that that is a super risky strategy, to say the least, for the prosecution. Yeah. To the extent that the jury has questions about facts, about credibility, about evidence, about what Trump was thinking, they're going to be weighing the testimony of Michael Cohen, someone who has admitted lying under oath, someone who has served time in jail, against the testimony of all these other witnesses who have not been convicted of lying under oath or serving time in jail. So I think that just underscores that the DA has a real uphill battle here in trying to persuade the jury why on earth they should believe someone like Michael Cohen.
Yeah, in fact, some of the other witnesses said this. We can put these up on the screen here. Hope Hicks said, talking about Michael Cohen, or actually you had Pecker saying this, prone to exaggeration. You had Hicks saying used to like to call himself Mr. Fix-It, but it was only because he first broke it. You had Keith Davidson, his description of a call with Cohen, quoting a hostile barrage of insults, insinuations, and allegations. He was just screaming. And then you had Gary Farrow, who agrees with the defense attorney Tom Blanche when asked if Cohen is a aggressive guy. I mean, so you have all these things. The people did not look kindly upon Michael Cohen. He is a proven liar, Mike Davis. Very tough to convince a jury that what he's saying now is both relevant and true.
And he has a motivation to lie. He was bitter that Trump did not bring him into the White House. This goofball thought he was going to be the White House counsel, and now he's peddling his book and selling his tirades on TikTok.
Yeah. And do you see anything that Cohen is testifying about that you find damaging, Tom Dupree?
You know, the only thing I can really see here is the fact that Cohen is the first witness who's actually making an attempt to link Trump to these Stormy Daniels payments. Everything else we've heard has been indirect evidence. It's been circumstantial evidence. And so I think the prosecutors see value in Cohen because he was admittedly in contact with Trump about these payments. But again, if this case is going to come down to whether or not the jury believes what Michael Cohen says, when they understand that Cohen is testifying from a point of hatred, a point of, insincerity, I think they're going to take everything he says with several grains of salt.
But shouldn't this case come down, Mike Davis, to a definition, a clear and hard definition of what the actual crime is? Because we are still very vague on that.
That's the problem. You have this corrupt Manhattan Democrat, Judge Juan Merchan, who should have recused under New York statute because his daughter, Lauren Merchan, is raising millions of dollars off this unprecedented trial. And then you have Soros-funded DA Alvin Bragg, who campaigned on getting Trump, bringing in Matthew Colangelo, a number 3 official in the Biden Justice Department, and they will not even tell President Trump what the legal allegations are in this case. We are in, what, week 5 of this unprecedented criminal trial of a former president and likely future president, and they won't even tell him what the legal allegations are so he can defend himself. This is a sham show trial.
I mean, the prosecution really could wrap up its case tomorrow, Tom, and a lot of legal analysts from even liberal networks are saying, hey, we really don't know the actual crime.
Well, that's the thing. And look, honestly, that's something that the DA has faced a challenge from the beginning, is that if the DA is having a problem explaining and persuading to even the liberal commentators of the world that there was a crime here and trying to explain his theory of the case and why what happened here amounts to a crime for which former President Trump should be incarcerated, if he can't explain it to all of them, how is he going to convince a jury that a crime was committed here? In other words, you can't convince the brightest legal minds in the world of the existence of a crime. How on earth are you going to convince those New Yorkers sitting in the jury box that a crime was committed here? That's the big challenge.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Tom Dupree, Mike Davis, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We are awaiting reaction.